Welcome to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I'm your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside my wife. No adjectives today. Sorry, I'm out. After five episodes.
It's been a month.
We're out. I mean, I got adjectives, trust me, but
they're not appropriate for a podcast.
Right. But this is my wife, Abby. Abby, say hello.
Hello.
That one.
All right, that's it.
We also have, no more talking.
My turn. What's me? What am I?
And our producer, Adam Moreno.
Bald.
Yes, I'm here. Brought to you by Cherry Pepsi.
Yes.
Brought to you by Matt Brandenberger.
Yeah, we got
brought to me by
the Meyer Fountain beverages rocking. So if you hear any untimely belches today, we're going to try to keep
work
them
hard.
In. Yes, keep them in. So this is episode 6 of our podcast for those who love pickleball, but life be a little crazy. We are back in studio, so life has been a little crazy. Last couple shows that we have done have either been on the road or we had Ryan Kearns as a special guest. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback on that one. So if you have not listened to episode 5, make sure you do that. Ryan did a spectacular job. We're going to actually have him back possibly next week, one of the upcoming episodes as well. So, but this episode is also a very special episode because Abby, you kind of took the reins on this one, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
She's proud of herself. I'll tell you.
She
before you came in, she was beaming.
Right.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, okay.
That's the beaming. She's always sweating. I think every podcast you've said, I'm sweating.
Yeah, you
I'm sweating.
glisten, and you don't. You glisten.
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
I sparkle.
So what's going on this week, though? Anything crazy?
Well, basketball has started, and actually we're done now with club volleyball.
Yeah.
Nobody puked.
That's good.
And
always a good thing.
Well, one of our daughters had a third of her class missing because they were sick. So really crossed my fingers.
There's been a lot of illness going around for sure.
Yeah. So none of my kids have gotten that yet, but I think it's all like strep throat and stuff.
So let me ask you guys,
Yep.
you know, we just had Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So what has been your favorite Thanksgiving moment with your 5 girls? Do you have one that kind of like, I'll always remember that one because...
Man, Thanksgiving, I don't know. Thanksgiving, we don't have like strong traditions. Like it's not like every year, like Christmas, we have very strong traditions. We're home for Christmas morning. Like that's a non-negotiable. Thanksgiving's one though. It's like we got to coordinate with all the families on both sides. Yeah, trying to fit it in, but just being together. I mean,
I feel like that's everyone
having the time off.
Yeah.
This was the first year that we had the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you know, it's usually like you get the day off and then Thanksgiving, you know, Thursday, Friday, and that's it. But it's kind of nice to have a 5-day weekend over Thanksgiving break.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
Well, I am thankful for you guys for sure.
And we're thankful for you.
For you, Adam.
In this podcast and all of our listeners out there.
Yes.
We are very, very thankful
What a
to be
love
doing
fest.
this. Love fest. You want to get right into it, though?
I do.
You do. You're excited. Ready to roll.
Well, I love this part of pickleball, and I really like science, and so I just find this really interesting. But basically, I reached out to a lot of our friends and asked them to tell me something they love and something they hate about pickleball. Now, I'm going to give the caveat of hate is a strong word.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It is.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
We're just using two polar opposites. So if you would like a different word, Matt, step in.
Yeah, I don't know. We say maybe opportunities for growth.
And things that frustrate us.
There may be things that frustrate us. Okay.
You know, like
Love
golfers have stuff
and
that
frustrations.
they, you know,
Right.
It's like same thing.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All
we're
right.
going to
Love
go.
and frustration.
Yeah.
So what are you doing first, or how are you breaking
Well,
this down for us?
Basically, I wanted to ask you guys, Matt. Let's just start with you.
Yeah.
You name something.
Something
you
I
love.
first and foremost, I'd probably say just the competition of it. That's right at the top of my list. There's kind of two sides to it, so I'll give 2 loves. One is just the competitive aspect of it, and then also just the community, the relationships that we've formed. We talked about this when you went through your ACL injury. You know, we're very involved at our church. We have a very close-knit group of friends. Our support system's great. But it was amazing, even just after, you know, a year or so of being in the pickleball community, how many people stepped up and were there for us during that time too. So I love that aspect of it. On the competitive side, I would say what frustrates me is when I make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Just do
what I don't want to do.
Right, I do. So true. But then maybe on also the competitive side, what frustrates me, I'm a very competitive person. We were actually just talking about this, but as soon as I step off that court, no matter how frustrated I was, at an opponent or a teammate or whatever it might be, or myself, like I love playing, and so I can kind of shake that off. But there's some people that I play with that can't, and so that's just an aspect that sometimes, like, keep it fun, keep it competitive, but no, ultimately it's just a game, a fun game that we're playing.
Yeah.
One thing I want to chime in on is when you said the community, and the link will be in the show notes, but I want to take this opportunity to point out a few Facebook groups that I've enjoyed being in. And like I said, the link is in the show notes, but so one, and these are on Facebook. So one that I'm in is called Pickleball Forum. One is, and of course, well, I should start by saying Hoosier Pickleball.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Obviously.
Of course. That's my favorite. And The Kitchen is another group, and Pickleball Forever.
Yeah.
So those groups on Facebook, like I said, again, the links will be in the show notes so that you guys can check those out as well. We invite you for sure to be in the Hoosier Pickleball, as that one is ours or
Please do.
yours. But what I enjoy is seeing the different takes on the same item will be introduced, and then you'll get 7 comments that I'll be like, oh, I definitely didn't think that about that. You're actually right. Or no, this guy's a bozo and it's not right. But still, and everyone, because of the pickleball community, it's almost like this etiquette of when you hit a golf ball, you're supposed to be quiet. Well, in pickleball, you're supposed to be super friendly. Yeah. Like, I feel is like the thing, and is what I'm learning. And it's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and if someone acts like a jerk, there's 19 people to jump on and be like, dude, it's pickleball. We're supposed to be friendly. And like, I just think that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it is kind of a niche or niche. I don't know how you pronounce that. Both. Either way. I'm going to go with niche.
Sounds French.
Where there's a lot of people, if you learn that somebody's like interested or learning to play pickleball, you're like all in to like, oh yeah, it's great. Like, come join us, and so it's not like a sport that's so well established that people are like, oh yeah, you're a golfer, cool. But it's like, oh, you play pickleball, me too. And so you kind of want to grow the sport. I mean, that's just kind of a natural thing that everybody who plays pickleball wants other people to catch the addiction.
I've been meaning to ask you guys. I've been talking to multiple people. Shout out to Eugene, a TV producer in our studio. Just today wants to get together. My buddy Alex, that I told you about, who has a court at his house.
So you say
I know.
We've never seen it.
We don't believe
I don't think it's real.
It's freaking cold outside, so calm down. But here's what I'm saying. I want you guys one of these weeks to come early to the Y and just play for an hour with some of my other friends and like, I want to pair up with you, and then have you guys kill us, like pair up, and, like just one time, like but like, wouldn't that be so awesome to like introduce people to the game or some that kind of play? And like Alex is excited, like he wants to gauge how good he is, obviously against people that have played in tournaments and stuff. Like like that's just exciting when I talk to people.
No matter where you're at, I mean, I want to play with the pros to see like, could I get a point or two off of them. I've had to.
Of course.
I listen. I played with a couple pros and
girls.
Girls, true.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And she smoked you.
I didn't smoke. We won some games. We lost some games. It was good. So,
Good.
Yeah. But no, that's a good point.
Great.
We'd love to do that.
Yeah,
We'll set that up.
And we may look for it on TikTok.
There you go.
Sure. So Adam, do you have any frustrations?
So my frustrations are when I'm geared up, I'm really excited to play and to work on a particular thing, like work on receiving and staying back, or really getting up to the line quickly and being focused on staying there and really focusing on certain things, right? And as the game progresses, I'm trying to do that, and all of a sudden my team is down 5-0. And it's like, it's frustrating when it's my fault we're down 5-0, and it's frustrating when it's not my fault we're down 5-0.
So you hate to lose.
I mean, is that the way to say that? It's just like you build up all this stuff, and then like, you like,
like it's not panning out how you thought.
It's just frustrating, and that's again, I bring back golf. It's like you do all your stuff, and not to slice it or whatever, and then it still slices, and you're like, like, why do we even play this stupid game? Like,
Yeah.
Just go back to my old habits. That,
Yep.
that at least I'm competitive.
and it is about community. So at the end, when it is my fault that we lose, my partner still says, "Hey, nice job, good game," you know,
Yeah.
and the winners are gracious. So I mean, that part even picks me up
Yeah.
after that. But
Exactly.
it's just frustrating when you try and work on stuff and the ball doesn't do what you want it to do, or that is the most frustrating thing. It's like, I know how to do this. This isn't like, you know, it's
Yeah.
not hitting a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or a 78-mile-an-hour curveball. It's pickleball. I got this.
Right.
And then no, I
Then
don't
you
got
don't.
this.
Yeah,
Right.
I get it. I think we all get it. We all
sure.
get that. Yeah. So our friends, really came through and gave me some really good thoughts. Excuse me, Matt. Do you have the list in front of you? I just thought,
Yeah.
we can just kind of read through it, alternating. So somebody said, I love meeting new people. I hate the financial part. So, I
I didn't think
understand
about
that.
that. Yeah.
Paying for court time.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. One person said, I hate it when people want to play before 8 a.m. And then, like, the very next person was like, I love it when people do want to play before 8 a.m. And that's great, too. I mean, we had Ryan on last week, and
He
we
doesn't
give Ryan,
like-
he does not. He's not a morning person. So if he sets something up, but with his kids are a little bit older than ours. And for us, it's like, if we can get out of the house and get back, in time to have
Before
the
8 a.m. or something.
I mean, yeah, that's ideally if we could start at 6 a.m.
That's what I'm saying. I want
Yeah.
to do that at the Y because they have it
Right.
that early.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And
But-
we're all members. Like, why not?
Right.
And
Yeah.
no one else is there, so it would just
then
be
we're done.
us and
Yeah.
my friends that I want to invite.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So there's definitely varying opinions on
Yeah.
the time of day to play.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well-
ideally, I would rather play later in the day.
Of
but
course, no one loves waking up at 5 or 6 a.m.
Right.
It's not that you
some people
love.
might, but
I
they're
don't know.
serial killers.
Those are, yeah, exactly.
Serial killers.
That's yeah.
So and then I love playing in tournaments, but not against my friends. So
yep.
we went to California to play in a tournament, and we were in the same pool at not the same age division as friends of ours. I don't want to go to California and play my friends.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we didn't have to because we all lost.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that was hard. We really tried to avoid playing each other because we're like, what if we face each other? And then it was hilarious because we didn't even come close to facing each other.
not even close.
Different sides of the bracket.
That's all right.
Wasn't even close.
Yep.
This one says, I love adding new shots to my game. Frustrated at having match point and losing. Man, that's the worst. When you get stuck like on 10, 9 or 10, you're just like right
can't pull
there.
it out. Yep.
And the other team gets some momentum and all of a sudden it's close or tied and you lose it and you're like, how did we blow this?
I love networking, new friendships, setting personal goals.
No,
Do not like unnecessary drama.
Nobody does.
That's humans, though.
That is
Yeah,
humans.
that's
Yep.
for
It's,
sure.
it's a group of humans playing a sport together. There's going to be drama. So, I love-
Networking got us this podcast.
It did.
By the way.
It did.
I mean, talking
I
with
mean-
Doug and talking to my friend Jeremy,
Yep.
and just thinking of ideas and like, oh, boom. And this podcast, we're over a month old now. I mean, it's crazy to think about.
Yep.
It's fun.
Awesome. Yep.
Love the mix of people. I think they mean by that just like the wide variety of ages, gender,
Size of human.
size of human, walks of life. I mean, it's an interesting group for sure, and it, especially for us. It's not like the bubble of people that we do church and school and things like that. It's a totally different group of people that we would typically, but we have the common bond of pickleball. Hate injuries, but love the exercise, for sure. In pickleball, like Abby, what would you say in terms of how much? I feel like when I first started playing, it was like you don't have many injuries, or you'd say, pickleball's not a sport really you get injured in much. But then you had a major injury, which you had never had
Who
before.
tears their ACL playing pickleball?
Well, Abby Brandenberger.
This girl. This
Raise
girl
your
does.
hand if you-
Girl.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. I feel like, knock on wood, I've been very blessed not to have any major injuries. And I was a guy who had 3 major injuries playing basketball in the span of just a few years. So I do feel like it's a little bit more safe. But injuries do happen. They are inevitable.
You can do what you need to do to not get injured and still get injured. It's just part of life. So.
How about this next one?
Oh yeah, the challenge of spouses. This is not even mine. Somebody else said this. The challenge of spouses playing together. I think
Yeah,
they.
right.
It's a thing. It's a
It
thing.
is. It is a thing. Love making new friends. All the support.
Love the challenge of becoming a better player. I echo that one. That's been huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've used that analogy several times where it's like, I'll never be the basketball player I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I'll never be the golfer I was earlier in my life. I don't have the time to devote to it, but my trajectory with pickleball, I still feel like there's a long ways to go to get better and better.
Yep. Hate the negativeness, which is, I went with, she's playing with who? What? Hold on. She got invited and I didn't. Like, I'm better than her.
I'm not even on that text thread.
What?
That's a personality issue.
They just don't like you.
Yeah.
No. But that happens.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Another one for getting injured.
Yep. Another one, love playing before 8 a.m. Exercise, socializing.
Yep. How about this one? Hate bad line calls and drama.
Yeah.
So there's definitely those, we're not going to name any names for sure, that make bad line calls. That it's like, it's kind of
obvious.
It's supposed to be like benefit of the doubt, unless you clearly see it out. You should call it in. But I mean, listen, I like to think that I'm not known for making bad line calls, but it's competitive, and you're in a tight game against somebody you want to win against, and it's like, it's really close. I don't know. And then people joke around about like, well, that was tournament out. Like if I'm in a tournament.
That was tournament out.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fair. Yeah.
That was out. But
Yep.
But for sure, you want to avoid the drama. And I'm usually quick if somebody would question a line call. It's like,
in rec play.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You can have it.
Yep.
That's cool. Love new friendships. This one I love. Love trash talking.
I love that too.
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that's
I do know
good.
who said it.
You do say it?
This person didn't say it, but I remember watching you guys play, and I remember watching Oz, Body Bag, Ryan, and he goes, "Eat it,"
Eat it.
and I laughed so hard at that.
I miss Oz. Oz is a
Oz,
great,
where are you?
Great trash talker. Yeah. I get that a lot of times where I'm trying to poach and somebody hits it behind me, and they're like, "Hey Matt, where'd you go?"
Yeah.
Yep.
The walk of shame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Organizing play is a frustration.
Ooh, yeah. You can talk
No,
to that.
I
but
mean, I
Yeah,
did.
you did.
It's
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
for sure.
I do love this. You can say that. I love this one.
Yeah. Love a sport to play with my spouse. I hate playing with my spouse.
That was the same person.
Yeah, well, of course, right? I mean, how perfect
Are
is
you going to
that?
call that person out?
Nope.
Okay.
I know who said all of these things.
That's awesome.
Matt Brandenburger. Oh,
That was not me.
It was
but
Abby Brandenburger.
that's a thing for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. It's great that we have this sport to play together, but there are times that we don't love playing with each
Yeah,
other.
that's good.
Both ways.
I love drilling and people who drill with me.
Mm-hmm.
I love my pickleball friend who is 22 and my pickleball friend who is 80.
Oh, how perfect is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. I love that we would all drive so far to play pickleball. And that's so true. I mean, originally when we started playing, the best places to play were 25 to 30 minutes away. It's like, well, that's just what we have to do, and we would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Abby's actually going to go next week down to Indy to play with a really high level group of girls, so
Ooh.
she's excited about that.
I mean, it's 2 hours. I'm driving 2 hours to play pickleball. It's
I know,
pretty funny.
Drive 2 hours, play for 2 hours.
We're playing for 3.
Oh, okay. Home.
Get it right.
4 hours of driving for 3 hours of play.
Yep.
Love it.
Love
Worth it.
Love the competition. Love smiles and laughing, for sure. I mean, if there's two sounds that you definitely always hear on a pickleball court. One is the sound of the ball on the paddle, because it's kind of loud, and the other is laughter and people having a good time.
Definitely when I play, for sure.
Somebody even, I'm going to throw this in there. Somebody even, I know a group of friends, she had a birthday party. She threw a they're my age. She threw a pickleball birthday party. And several of my friends after that said, that's the hardest I've laughed in a long time. And I was like, that's perfect.
That's
I
so
love
cool.
that. I love that so much.
That's so cool.
That's really cool. This one's sweet.
Aw.
Someone met the love of their life.
Well, two someone's.
Two someone's. Yeah. Well,
I mean, yeah,
together.
they relate to themselves.
Yeah.
So,
And-
who will remain nameless.
Right.
Aw.
Sweet couple.
Aw.
We could name them. I don't care. You
Okay.
don't want to. We'll just keep things private, because there's probably some out there that have met the loves of their lives
And it's a secret.
not so appropriate ways. Because there's, I mean, at the top
Oh, boy.
level, at the
Oh, boy.
top level of pros,
I
there's
bet.
mixed drama and
Of course.
extramarital crap that goes
Oh,
on.
goodness.
So we
Moving on.
don't want to get into that.
Moving on.
Love social and competitive side and new friendships. I think we've covered that.
Yep. I love that I can put my paddle in my bag and find a game wherever I
Oh,
go,
that's really cool.
including on a cruise.
Love it. Love
This is a good one, Matt.
Pickleball can be whatever you want it to be. It can be competitive, like tournaments, social, rec games, bonding, family games. Pickleball is truly not the Ohio State University, but the lifetime sport, most accessible and easiest to learn.
Yeah.
So that really sums it up. I
Yeah.
love that one,
Yep.
that you put that one last, because that
Yep.
really kind of covers it all. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
So this, I mean, I really want to focus on all these good things, and we've said,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's save
Yeah,
that.
yep.
Let's definitely take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, Abby's going to kind of turn the conversation and kind of get into some of the science behind all
Ooh.
this. She's been doing her homework, folks. You're not going to want
have.
to miss this. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you new to the game of pickleball and looking to learn the basics? Or maybe you're an experienced player who wants to take your game to the next level? Both Matt and I would love to help.
That's right, Abby. We are both Level 2 IPTPA certified instructors and would love working with you, either giving you private lessons, group lessons, or hosting a clinic. We also offer unique video coaching utilizing the latest in drone technology. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok by searching Hoosier Pickleball, or email us at HoosierPickleball@gmail.com. Also, check out the show notes for all the links to our social channels.
All right. Welcome back to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. This episode, we've been talking a lot about what we love and what frustrates us.
Yeah.
Opportunities for growth. I hate to use the word hate. I hate. hate.
I love love.
I love love.
I love lamp.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well played. So this episode, as we talk about that, kind of goes right in hand with a book Abby's been reading. Let me just tell you something about my lovely wife. When she reads a book, it is like her nose is in that thing and the world could be burning around her and she has no idea. And so she gets into a book and she wants to tell me every detail of it. So I don't even, I do love that. Sometimes more than others. I don't even have to, that's a great thing. I don't have to read it because she tells me everything that happens in it. So, but this really was a great book. So tell us kind of about the book and how you want to spin the conversation as we talk about what we love and what we hate and kind of the power of pickleball, maybe is what I'd say.
Yeah, so I read this book called The Least of Us, True Tales of America and Hope in the Time of Fentanyl and Meth by Sam Quinones.
Quinones.
Quinones?
I think so. The link is in the show notes.
Okay, yeah, and he also wrote the book Dreamland. Highly recommend both of those books.
Yep.
But anyways, he went through like neurotransmitters, and anyways, if there's a neuroscientist listening, please feel free to email any corrections. But I wanted to talk through the anatomy of an addiction, specifically dopamine and serotonin. So back to the book, though, one of the last things he mentioned was there's this town in Ohio that it was very hard hit by the fentanyl and meth addictions. But then it kind of became a mecca for recovery, for addiction, for addicts. And one of the ways was this CrossFit box that opened. And a lot of these recovering addicts would
What is a CrossFit box?
Okay, well, that's what they're called. Like, they're not gyms.
How do you know if somebody does CrossFit?
They'll tell you.
Don't worry, they'll tell you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is that kind of like pickleball, though?
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you know if somebody plays pickleball?
Don't worry, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you.
My friend sent me a Snapchat today saying that how do you guys know I got up early to work out? This snap.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like,
They'll tell you.
if you didn't tell somebody.
So sorry, I
Didn't
interrupted
happen.
you, but there's town in
No,
Ohio, and
so-
CrossFit really became the thing that.
Right. And so it got me thinking, what are the similarities? I think they're very similar, CrossFit and pickleball, in terms of this community, this competition, trying to score high and high-fiving and cheering each other on.
The
and
dopamine.
Thank you. These dopamine hits that you get. So basically, quick note, serotonin is the hormone / neurotransmitter that can help prevent depression and anxiety. Dopamine are the pleasure hits, if you will. Okay. So there are two different ones, and they're both very important.
That's dope.
Dope. Well played.
So true.
You're on fire, dude.
So where am I going with this?
Yes.
I love the thought of this. So pickleball can be the answer for not only substance addiction recovery, something to think about,
Yep.
but also a source for all of us for normal serotonin and dopamine levels to keep us all in a good mental health position, because I think we can all agree that America is in a mental health crisis.
I think
Is
that's fair.
crisis a good word?
I think it's fair.
And so we all know somebody or ourselves who are struggling or recovering from, with mental health.
And I'll say, I think we have been for 100 years. It's more to the forefront where we're having conversations.
I think that's true.
That's what I would
Very
maybe,
true.
Say.
It's not a stigma, I don't think, as much as it was.
Right,
that-
right.
yeah.
Nothing in general has changed, only our outlook of it, I would say.
Yeah. So I just wanted to go real quick. How does pickleball increase serotonin? So we want to increase both serotonin and dopamine in our systems. Okay.
Yep.
So serotonin first. First of all, bright light. So what pickleball player do you know that wants to be outside? Every single one of them.
Everyone.
We all want to play outside in the sunshine.
Yep.
We play inside because we have to sometimes. But if we get to play outside, we will play outside.
Yep.
Exercise. Okay, so tryptophan is released by exercise, and tryptophan is this triggering amino acid, and it helps increase the serotonin. So aerobic exercise, you just want your heart rate up, and my heart rate's up when I'm playing pickleball. And then there's also managing your emotions and your stress levels. And I know that I love going to play pickleball and hitting a ball really hard
Yeah.
when I'm stressed.
And even when you say managing your stress levels and your, is that even found in a game of pickleball where you're getting frustrated and you're trying to, manage your frustration and still, but you're having a great time no matter what.
I mean, that's digging deep into why sports are so good for people, because it's not just the sport.
Right.
We're talking about managing emotions and digging deep and overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
Sports can be so much more than
All
just
the things we try
sport.
to teach our kids, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, chronic stress, can lead to low serotonin levels. So anyways, just hitting that ball hard and managing all of that. So now increasing dopamine. So dopamine is those hits of pleasure, which would be like laughing, holding a baby and petting a puppy, all of those things. So
if you could pet a puppy, hold a baby, and
eat
play
pizza.
And play pickleball at the same time, you'd be like the most
You'd be
healthy
overdosing.
OD
OD on dopamine.
on dopamine.
Maybe that's why bowling is so popular, because you could actually do that. You could.
You could
Dig into some nachos.
Right.
You could be sitting down.
drinking a beer.
And
And
you
then you
could be
throw a
rolling
ball.
a ball, and it could hit every pin.
Sign me up.
Jim Rome used to say that any sport that you get better, the more plastered you get, cannot really be a sport. So
That's
bowling
awesome.
falls in that category.
Yeah.
I don't know about pickleball though.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So the great thing is a lot of the same things I already said apply to dopamine as well. So
Yeah.
regular exercise, you get that pleasure release. It, makes you want to keep going and keep doing it more. Spending time outside, then engaging in healthy, pleasurable activities, continue to give that positive feedback that, make you want to do that more. I mean, it even includes things like listening to music and being with your friends. So there's a lot of things that give you those hits. Eliminating stress. Let's see.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
the other side of that though, because just doing some self-reflecting, like anything that's good, there's a limit to it, right? You can have an unhealthy addiction to pickleball. So as
Yes.
great as pickleball can be,
Yes.
and we've teetered on that line.
I
at
did have to
times.
ground you.
I've been grounded before.
Matt's been grounded.
Maybe once or twice. I need to do a better job of running by all of my play by Abby. But within limits, right?
Yeah.
Anything that's good
Yes.
still needs to be
Yes.
met with moderation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's up for each individual person to decide, or
Where-
their
Where
spouse.
that line is.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so basically what I want us to think through and our listeners to think through is just how can we help others, introduce them to pickleball and help us, get through this mental health stuff. And then also if you're listening to this and someone in your life doesn't understand why you love pickleball, send this podcast to them and maybe they'll have a better understanding of
why you're so weird.
Why you're so weird.
Yeah. This is why I'm weird. My brain waves.
Right. It's the dopamine, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll appreciate pickleball more. Maybe they'll start to play pickleball.
There you go.
So I don't know if you've heard of Jigsaw Health, but it's this, I don't know, it's like this whole drink thing and whatever. But as they would say, their tagline is it's fun to feel good. So while that is true physically, I think it is so, so true mentally. That it is fun to feel good physically and mentally.
Yeah. So what you're saying basically is pickleball could save America if everybody would just start playing.
It truly can.
It truly can. That and Jesus, right?
Also Jesus.
Also Jesus.
I mean, there are articles I've read.
There's a particular order as well.
Yes,
we would say, right?
For sure.
Well, yeah. But articles, like I read headlines of like, can pickleball save America?
Oh, God.
Right. But it truly is, and I mean that's why we've fallen in love with it. It's such a great sport for so many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing that I know when we were talking through this episode and preparing for it that I thought was worth mentioning is a guy by the name of Gizmo. And Gizmo does an incredible thing kind of along these lines too. You want to?
Yeah, if you can actually check him out on gizmopickleball.com. He's married with a couple kids. He's a mental health advocate. He has like a farm that he teaches kids to grow. It's like at-risk kids to grow like food and all that stuff, but he teaches them pickleball too.
Yeah. He would be actually an incredible guest to get on the show.
He would be so fun. He was actually in our bracket.
Yeah, we didn't face him. Yeah, but he's a very eccentric
he's
guy.
He's like a 5-0 player,
He's
I
a
think.
very, very good player. Super nice guy. I've watched him play a few times.
He wears like hamburger shorts.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm talking like eccentric, bright colors and
like
just
2 different shoes.
Has a great
That's
time.
Awesome.
So, but he does some really cool stuff in the community around this and around the area of mental health. So, yeah, we'll have to.
We got to reach out to him.
Yeah, and we'll link his website in the show notes as
Yep.
well. And
Yep.
we'll reach out to him and see if we can get him on the show sometime. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I love this conversation.
So
It's good.
so go play some pickleball.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom
I'm
line.
in at the YMCA.
Okay,
Early morning.
let's do it.
We're going to set that up.
Okay, guys.
All right. Well, hey, let's call it a day for the show. We do want to end every episode with something we love. We didn't really talk about this, though.
We
So I'm
didn't.
going to kind of put
On
you
the fly.
on the spot. What pops into your head, Abby? What's something you are loving right now?
I am loving Thanksgiving food, specifically mashed potatoes, candied sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
and ham.
I will say leftovers are 49% of the fun.
I agree.
49%.
I mean, it's up there.
It's up there. I like a good cold turkey sandwich
Oh my
with
gosh,
some mayo on it.
And leftover pie and like
pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I love that. I could piggyback on that one, but I'm going to actually just go. I'm going to take something off your plate because you have said this before. That was the wrong use
the look
of
on her
speech.
face right now.
Right.
You're going to take my food?
Wait, yeah.
Hold the phone. I will stab you.
Hold the mic.
But
Drop the mic.
you've referenced clothing the last couple times.
Yeah.
And so
Ooh.
mine is this sweatshirt that I'm wearing.
You
So
wear that every day.
I have worn this a lot.
That's Eddie Bauer, right?
It is Eddie Bauer, and it is so comfortable.
The link is in the show notes.
The link is in the show
Just
notes.
kidding. Just
Hold on.
kidding.
We'll put it there.
Yeah,
I'll
you
put
will.
it there because I love
You
this
wore
sweatshirt.
this sweatshirt to church on Sunday.
We don't need to talk about it. I've worn it a few times since Sunday.
Every day.
So,
It's nice.
yeah, it's a nice sweatshirt.
It is my favorite color.
Yeah.
It's not a
Abby does.
49er, or anything.
Right.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all right.
Your 49ers are looking pretty good recently. So
Yep. They've won more games than they've lost in the last month. That's all I care
more,
about.
more than the Colts can say.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us on this episode of One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. We love all of our listeners out there and appreciate all of the positive feedback we've gotten. Please make sure you leave us a 5-star rating in Apple Music or anywhere where you find your podcast. That helps us grow the show, and we're really enjoying this. So until next time, have a great day.
As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media. and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number one More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.